Greetings, Malaysians of every persuasion. I hope that everyone is having as delightful a Tuesday evening as is humanly possible. I know that I am endeavoring to do as much here at Malays Motors East Coast headquarters in Charm City, USA. Earlier in the evening, I was having a Facebook Messenger chat with a group member who, in a previous incarnation, was privileged to curate cars. Well, let's put it this way. Their owners are the kind of people who require confidentiality agreements, so he could only drop a few subtle hints as to who they might be. He couldn't go further for the sake of, not wanting to have bad things happen, probably presented in, by a process server. So needless to say, we don't want to go down that road, but the gist of it is, he confided to me that most of these people who owned and occasionally drove the very rarest of the rare. One-of-one Porsches and Ferraris and, the kind of cars that wet dreams are made of. And he confided to me that, most of these people really weren't necessarily on cloud nine because they own these things. They own these things because they could, but they didn't necessarily take pleasure in them. We take pleasure in our cars. They may not be worth much, but they are worthy, and our enthusiasm for them is worthy too. And that's where we're very, very lucky. We get to have all the joy, in fact, more of it, because so many of us will drive our cars in all weathers and on long journeys and work on them ourselves and detail them ourselves. So we're much more connected with our cars, and we can do it for next to nothing. But unlike, I don't want to speak disparagingly of the Concours de Lemons, but I do feel like they kind of are mocking, and Malays Motors takes the cars kind of seriously. Although I must admit, I do chuckle at some of their categories, like Carrozzeria Iacocca is hilarious. I've got a sense of humor, I must admit. But the thing is, I actually like Iacocca-era Chrysler products. I like button tufting. I like a turbocharged 2.2 liter that means I'll never miss my V8 again. But I'm getting off on a tangent here. I just want to remind everyone to take a moment and think about how wonderful it is that we get to have so much fun at such a minimal expense. I'm constantly thinking to myself, gosh, Bryan, if you'd only done this, that, or the other better when you were younger, you'd have a better life now. But that's not necessarily true, because I have just as much fun with my $2,500 Lincoln down in the garage as some guy who's out on the lawn at Pebble Beach. And what's more, I don't have to be all bougie and sociy and chatty with people I don't know and pretend like I like them. When I see all of you at a Malays Motors show, I do like you. I am delighted that you took the time to come and spend time with your fellow enthusiasts. And that brings me to my next point. I know we've been on hiatus and we've had to be very cagey about plans, and we still do because the pandemic continues to do its pandemic-y business. But rest assured, as soon as it's reasonable to do so safely, we will once again have a Malays Motors car show. In the meantime, I would just like to thank everyone from the bottom of my black little heart for taking part in Malays Motors, and I wish everyone the very best. And I continue to enjoy seeing all of your cars and your adventures and misadventures and romances and every other little thing that just might happen and make its way into the Malays Motors page. So happy Tuesday evening, cheers, and I shall talk to everyone later. Good night.